I'm Mark Weiss. Welcome to Wisdom Applied. Over the last several weeks, I've seen the effects on airlines, travel, tourism, and business of the eruption of a volcano in Iceland, a volcano whose name I certainly can't pronounce, and the loss it caused, billions of dollars. I've also learned of multiple hospital-based groups who've lost their rights to serve as the exclusive providers of their type of specialty services, resulting in the loss of millions of dollars, the disruption of careers, and a negative impact on families. There are more in common among these events than at first meets the eye. Well, first, there's the desire to blame. For example, why won't they let us fly? That's the case even when there's clear evidence that the volcanic ash is potentially damaging to aircraft and therefore dangerous to human life. Or, on the doctor side, the administration lied to us. They wanted to replace us from the start and just let us on. Let's sue. Sue the hospital. Sue the civil aviation authorities. Heck, sue the volcano. Second, these types of events highlight the need to tell the truth, to yourself that is, in assessing risk. As to the volcano, you might argue that the risk of an eruption was small, or perhaps that an eruption was unlikely to adversely affect air travel. But be it a volcano, or a severe storm, or an earthquake, or even a man-made event, such as war, disruptions, even if improbable, do occur. Sure, it may be difficult to foresee the exact nature of a disruption, but as a class, disruptive events, it's easier to identify. And if the potential impact of disruptive events is great, then the risk is large. In other words, the correct assessment of risk must take into account both the probability of the event and the impact of the event. Low probability times huge impact still yields substantial risk. As to the loss of the ability to provide services at a facility, in fact, as to the breakdown of any contractual relationship or even a consensual one, telling the truth involves both correctly assessing the risk, seeing the handwriting on the wall, that is, and it involves taking the responsibility to attempt to impact the outcome on a proactive, not simply retroactive basis. In fact, despite one's best efforts to keep one's head in the sand, the loss of any business relationship with time is a near certainty. Whether it's the closing of the facility, an increasingly common occurrence, or a new hospital CEO who comes along who just doesn't like you. Those events are more likely than the destruction of the facility by a fire, but they carry high risk to your business too. Managing the risk in either case requires that you tell the truth and that you plan for it. In the instance of medical groups, as I expect few airline executives are tuning into this, you need to plan for the eventuality of no longer having the relationship with the facility. That means exploring well in advance and becoming involved in other opportunities. It also means building provisions into your employment agreements, subcontracts, and shareholders or partnership agreements that take those eventualities into account. Otherwise, sooner or later you'll suffer from your own private volcano and you'll be burned.